With Mac Jones, of course, I was seeing all over Twitter today. I had you on my show down in Virginia earlier today as well, talking about Mac and what he showed all of you at practice. From what I read, a pretty good day for Mac Jones.
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, look, I think he's had two pretty good days. He had a bit of uh, a lesser day, I would say, the last open OTA before the mini camp, and that led a lot of people to say this and that about Mac Jones. But give the kid credit. It seems like every bump in the road, he sort of learns from it and overcomes it and is better the next practice. I mean, Monday's practice was in a heavy rain almost the entire length of practice, and I thought he was by far the best quarterback. He was accurate. He was decisive. Couldn't even tell that it was raining outside. That probably tickled Belichick a little bit. We know how he loves to squeeze the water bottle onto the balls and things like that during training camp, and so I'm sure he really liked that. And the other guys kind of struggled a little bit. And then today, I thought it was much of the same thing. And it's hard to quantify. Like, you can have stats, and I even had stats today. Sorry, I just forgot I had it on a different notepad. So in the just to go back, because I mostly just wanted to see how many reps I had, and from the competitive periods, I had Cam Newton was 8 of 15, and Mac Jones was 17 of 26. He had the two interceptions. He also two drops were put into there, so it was good. He's been, I would say, he's been pushing the ball much more down the field. Not all of it's been perfect. I can remember, I'm not sure if it was Bourne or Aguilar, but actually, I'm pretty sure it was Aguilar, because it was Jalen Mills has basically been taking Stephon Gilmore's spot at left cornerback
Right.
during the holdout. And at one point, I think it was Isaiah Zuber tried to beat him down the right sideline. And I think Zuber had like a half a step, and I think Mac Jones made a beautiful pass that basically went through Zuber's hands down the right sideline. And Jalen Mills just would not stop yapping, like back to the huddle. It just was, it was nonstop. He was saying, I couldn't make out exactly what he said. And of course, according to media protocols, I can't say what he said, but it was along the lines of like, I was a track star. I don't know what you guys are thinking, all this stuff. A couple plays later, Mac Jones comes back to it, and I think it was Aguilar had him by a couple of steps, and Mac Jones made a pretty good pass. It just didn't have enough air under it, and it overthrew Aguilar by a little bit. So he's pushing the ball down the field more, and I thought he was better. I thought Newton has kind of struggled. I think where Mac Jones really differentiates himself, and it's not going to come through in stats, and this is why I don't keep stats all the time. It's just how you play the position relative to the Patriots scheme. And you and I have talked about it ad nauseum. And even Cam talked about it today, and I give him credit, where he said something about like Josh McDaniels has told him, like, pre-snap preparation will lead to post-snap success or something along those lines. And that's exactly what you and I have talked about since Cam Newton's been the quarterback here. At a certain point in time, he's not winning before the snap, which means he's going to fail after the snap. And with Mac Jones, you can see each and every day he gains a little bit more in terms of, hey, I can see what's coming. I go to the outlet really quick. You can see him even when they're doing routes on air and say like Jarrett Stidham's going, and it's the quarterback and the 5 receiving targets, and they hear the play call. McDaniels calls it out, and you can see Mac Jones like behind the quarterback, almost with his eyes closed, going like, you can see him working. He's like, here's the play call, and he's like, all right, double slant this way. Then I wait and I come back and I go over here. Like he's doing this stuff all the time. And he's always talking to Brian Hoyer. He's always talking to Josh McDaniels. And that's really where he stands out. And I said that, I think I wrote that the first practice that we saw Mac Jones, where it was like, he called out, him and Aguilar recognized a slot blitz coming, and Mac Jones goes, I know, and boom, the ball's out, and he goes for 50 yards. Cam Newton had a similar play today. He waits a beat, And then, Hunter Henry catches the ball, but it's not in stride, it's not in space. And that's the difference. And so I think Mac Jones has been the best quarterback by far in minicamp so far. What that means long term, I'm not sure. But if you knew what you were looking for, and you've been around and you've been a part of quarterback competitions, and I've been part of it, I've covered the Dolphins back when they didn't know who their quarterback was going to be. I've been on the practice field with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. That wasn't a competition, but still, there was a younger guy pushing him. I've seen, Brady and Garoppolo. And I thought sort of what we saw today about midway through practice was a bit different than I've seen before. And it felt like a shift, but we'll have to see how things played out.
A couple of other observations that I read that you had, and also, again, I talked to you earlier today, and a couple of things. The reps you just mentioned, 26 to 15-ish. So Mac Jones gets more reps than Cam today at practice. I think that's noteworthy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Mac is starting because of it, but it's noteworthy. And also, you mentioned that, Mac was with McDaniels, Belichick, Patricia, Ernie Adams, with the top offensive line on one field, and Cam was kind of off to the side with some other guys. And I just think, these are little crumbs. They're not going to tell us the entire story, but they're little crumbs. And it goes along with the rest of the narrative that we've had from the beginning of this camp season, which is Mac is getting involved a lot more than we thought. And Belichick is seemingly giving him more than we thought he would give him. And he seems like he's picking it up.